Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Sadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpati Gopesh Gopikanta Radhakanta Namostuti Tapt Kanchan Gorangi Radhe Vrindaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Naram Chev Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Mudhire. बोलो श्री राधे गोलोकानंद भगवान की
जय।
बोलो श्रीमद् भागवतम की
जय।
हरे कृष्णा। हरे कृष्णा निशा।
Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा एवरीवन।
Everyone.
तरुण। हरे कृष्णा जितेंद्र।
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु।
हरे कृष्णा नाइस टू सी यू भाई।
आज निर्जला 11 थी, मैंने कहा भैया पुण्य ले ले आपके साथ थोड़ा।
अरे पुण्य तो ऐसे ही हो गया आपके दर्शन करके।
नहीं नहीं नहीं, निर्जला करिए तो उसका पुण्य आप ही के साथ में होएगा पूरा।
दैट इज सो नाइस यू कुड जॉइन।
हाँ,
वेरी नाइस। हरे कृष्णा तरुण अजय।
हरे कृष्णा।
हरे कृष्णा ज्योति। Yeah, no worries, no problem. Yeah, that's nice. तो ठीक है, शुरू करते हैं अपन श्री भागवतम। So yesterday we completed chapter 4. अध्याय चौथा अपन ने कंप्लीट किया, yeah, and the 19th is the last shlok. So as we know, we are reading.
Rajay, namaste. I said I'll be in listen only mode. Sorry if you did not hear that.
No, I heard that. Jyoti, I heard.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
That's no worries. Yeah, yeah. So we are reading about appearance of Lord Ṛṣabhadeva. Yeah. So as we know, Swambhu Manu had two sons, Maharaj Uttanpad, and then we read about Maharaj Uttanpad's descendants, right? From Dhruv Maharaj to Prithu Maharaj and so on and so forth. Now we are reading about Maharaj Priyavrat. Yeah, Maharaj Priyavrat was second son of Swambhu Manu. And as we know, Swambhu Manu is son of whom? Whose son is Swambhu Manu? Right?
ब्रह्मा जी।
Brahma ji, yeah. So Swambhu Manu is son of Lord Brahma himself. And then we are reading about Maharaj Uttanpad and Maharaj Priyavrat. So now, so last we were reading was Maharaj Nabhi, who is son of Maharaj Agnidra, who is son of Maharaj Priyavrat. So Maharaj Nabhi's son is Lord Ṛṣabhadeva, right? So Maharaj Nabhi, along with all the priests, did a lot of tapasya, and then Lord Vishnu himself appeared, and Maharaj Nabhi wanted a son like Lord Vishnu. So Lord Vishnu's extension, Lord Ṛṣabhadeva, appeared to Maharaj Nabhi. Yeah. So then Maharaj Nabhi, of course, yesterday we saw Nar Narayan Stuti. Maharaj Nabhi then went to do a tapasya at Badrinath, where there is a Nar Narayan deity. So they did tapasya there and went back to Godhead, and then gave kingdom to Maharaj Ṛṣabhadeva. And so Maharaj Ṛṣabhadeva had 100 sons when he entered the Grihastha ashram, and the eldest son is Bharat Maharaj. Yeah. And now what we are reading is, what happens is, once while touring the world, Lord Ṛṣabhadeva, the Supreme Lord, reached a place known as Brahmavrat. There was a great conference of learned Brahmins at that place, and all the king's sons attentively heard the instructions of the Brahmins there. At that assembly, within the hearing of citizens, Ṛṣabhadeva instructed his sons. Although they were already very well behaved, devoted, and qualified, he instructed them so that in the future they could rule the world very perfectly. Thus he spoke as follows. Yeah. So this is where we ended the chapter 4, where Maharaj Ṛṣabhadeva, yeah, he reaches, and then his teachings is what we are going to read in this particular adhyay. Yeah. So let's start with the text 1 of Shlok of adhyay 5th. And as we know, we are reading the Skanda 5th. Yeah, we are on the 5th book out of 12 books. 12 Skand, we are on the 5th Skand, 5th adhyay and Shlok 1. So we'll start from here, Ajay.
Sure. Ṛṣabh Uvaj Nayam Deho Deh Bhajam Niloke Kashtan Kamanahte Ving Bhujam Ye Tapo Divya Putraka Yen Sattvam Shuddhed Admasmadam Adasmad Brahma Saukhyam Tvanantanam. Lord Ṛṣabhadeva told his sons, "My dear boys, of all the living entities who have accepted material bodies in this world, one who has been awarded this human form should not work hard day and night simply for sense gratification, which is available even for dogs and hogs that eat stool. One should engage in penance and austerity to attain the divine position of devotional service. By such activity, one's heart is purified, and when one attains this position, he attains eternal blissful life, which is transcendental to material happiness and which continues forever." Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So as we can see, Lord Ṛṣabhadeva, yeah, is by telling his sons, and this is in the Sabha of all the Brahmins at Brahmavat, yeah, he is giving this Updesh. That's anyone who has accepted the material bodies, right, like all of us, yeah, and especially the one who has given the human form, needs to spend time in engaging in penance and austerity to attain the divine position of devotional service. Yeah, that's his message. Tapo divyam. Once we do that, then putraka yen sattvam suddhaye. Yeah, and Brahma Sokhyam is what he is saying. Basically, if we do the devotional service, one's heart is purified. And when one attains this position, he attains eternal blissful life, which is transcendental to material happiness and which continues forever. Yeah. So if you want to get out of the material bonding, the devotional service is very important, right? To get back to Godhead. So that's what Ṛṣabhadev's message starts. And actually, it's a nice purport here we can read. Jitendra?
Human life is meant for tapasya, austerity, and penance. By tapasya, one can get out of the material clutches. When one is situated in Krishna consciousness, devotional service, his happiness is guaranteed eternally. By taking to Bhakti Yoga, devotional service, one's existence is purified. The living entity is seeking happiness life after life, but he can make a solution to all his problems simply by practicing Bhakti Yoga. Then he immediately becomes eligible to return home back to Godhead, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Janma Karma Me Deyam Ivanti Yo Vetati Tattva Praktya Deham Punarjanma Naima Mema Itsu Arjuna. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna.
Hare Krishna, thank you, Jitendra. Yeah. So Lord Krishna himself is saying that one who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities, yeah, when he leaves the body, like we know that all of us, right, conditioned souls, you are going to leave this physical body. But if you are surrendered to Lord Krishna in Bhakti Yoga, yeah, then he does not punar janma neti, yeah, he does not take birth again in this material world. As we know, there are 8.4 million species, right? And we are in the cycle of this birth, death, old age, and disease. That does not happen. But mam iti so Arjuna, mam iti, right? My eternal abode is achieved by following the Bhakti Yogis. Lord Krishna himself is saying this. Yeah. Nisha?
Mahat sevam dvaramahur vimukte stamodvaram yoshitam sangi sangam. Mahantaste samachittaha prashanta vimanyavah survada sadhuvoye. One can attain the path of liberation from material bondage only by rendering service to highly advanced spiritual personalities. These personalities are impersonalists and devotees. Whether one wants to merge into the Lord's existence or wants to associate with the personality of Godhead, one should render service to the Mahatmas. For those who are not interested in such activities, who associate with people fond of women and sex, the path to hell is wide open. The Mahatmas are equipoised. They do not see any difference between one living entity and another. They are very peaceful and are fully engaged in devotional service. They are devoid by anger and they work for the benefit of everyone. They do not behave in any abominable way. Such people are known as Mahatmas. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so Lord Ṛṣabhadeva is telling the characteristics of Mahatmas. Yeah, what is Mahatmas? Samchita, Prashanta, yeah, Vimanyavah Shuhad Sadhuye. Yeah, that's what. And so he's advising his sons to be in company of Mahatmas. Yeah, spend time with devotees, is what is he saying. Yeah. Isha.
Me?
Isha. Sorry. Isha, you're there? Okay, Tarun. So Isha's mic is not working.
Yeah. Yeva mashishe krita sauradharta janesu dihambara vartikeshu gresu jetmaja ratimatsu na priti yukta yavad arthas cha loke. Those who are interested in reviving Krishna consciousness and increasing their love of Godhead do not like to do anything that is not related to Krishna. They are not interested in mingling with people who are busy maintaining their bodies, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. They are not attached to their homes, although they may be householders. Nor are they attached to wives, children, friends, or wealth. At the same time, they are not indifferent to the execution of their duties. Such people are interested in collecting only enough money to keep the body and soul together. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. Jitendra.
नूनं प्रमत्ता कुरुते विकर्म यतीन्द्रि प्रीते आपृणोति न साधु मन्ये यत आत्मनोय मसन्पि क्लेदश आसदेह. When a person considers sense gratification the aim of life, he certainly becomes mad after materialistic living and engages in all kind of sinful activity. He does not know that due to his past deeds, he has already received a body which, though altered temporary, is the cause of his misery. Actually, the living entity should not have taken on a material body, but he has been awarded the material body for sense gratification. Therefore, I think it not be befitting an intelligent man to involve himself again in the activities of sense gratification by which he perpetually gets material bodies one after the other. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so Lord Ṛṣabhadeva is telling why people get one material body one after another, right? It's because of all the sense gratification and all the karmas which are done, right? That's what is going on, right? So what they are saying is one should perfect his life by associating with devotees. He should not become further implicated in the material body. Yeah. Ajay?
पराभव स्तावद बधु बोध जातो यावन्न जिज्ञासत आत्मतत्त्वम् याव प्रत्यास्ताविदं मनो वै कर्मात्मकं येन शरीर बंधः. As long as one does not inquire about the spiritual value of life, one is defeated and subjected to miseries arising from ignorance. Be it sinful or pious, karma has its resultant action. If a person is engaged in any kind of karma, his mind is called karmatmaka, colored with fruitive activity. As long as the mind is impure, consciousness is unclear, and as long as one is absorbed in fruitive activity, he has to accept a material body. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so as long as we are part of the karma, whether good or bad, right, has to accept a material body. What is being said here, karmatmakam yen sharira bandha. Yeah, so that's why we get those material bodies, yeah, to get the results of all our karmas. Yeah. Nisha.
एवं मनः कर्मवशं प्रयुक्ते अविद्ययात्मन्युपधीयमाने प्रीतिर्न यावन्मयि वासुदेवे न मुच्यते देहयोगेन तावत्. When the living entity is covered by the mode of ignorance, he does not understand the individual living being and supreme living being, and his mind is subjected by fruitive activity. Therefore, until one has love for Lord Vasudeva, who is none other than myself, he is certainly not delivered from having to accept a material body again and again. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So what is important to understand here is this is being spoken by Lord Ṛṣabhadeva, who is none other than extension of, right, the manifestation of Lord Vishnu himself. And he himself is saying this, right? So he's saying that Pritina Yavanmai Vasudeva. Yeah, therefore, until one has love for Lord Vasudeva, yeah, na muchyate deha yogena tavat, yeah, cannot be delivered from having to accept a material body again and again and again, right? And this is the chance we get only when we are in the human form. It's a nice purport, so let's read this. Actually, Tarun.
When the mind is polluted by fruitive activity, the living entity wants to be elevated from one material position to another. Generally, everyone is involved in working hard day and night to improve his economic condition. Even one understands the Vedic rituals, becomes interested in promotion to heavenly planets, not knowing that one's real interest lies in returning home, back to Godhead. By acting on the platform of fruitive activity, one wanders throughout the universe in different species and forms. Unless he comes in contact with a devotee of the Lord, a guru, he does not become attached to the service of Lord Vasudeva. Knowledge of Vasudeva requires many births to understand. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 7.19, Vasudeva Sarvam Iti Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. After struggling for existence for many births, one may take shelter at the lotus feet of Vasudeva Krishna. When this happens, one actually becomes wise and surrenders unto him. That is the only way to stop the repetition of birth and death. This is confirmed in Chaitanya Charitamrita. In the instructions given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Srila Rupa Goswami at the Sasmedha Gatha, Brahmananda Brahmite Konda Bhagwanam Jiva Guru Krishna Prasade Paya Bhakti Lata Bija. The living entity wanders throughout different planes in different forms and bodies, but by chance he comes in contact with the bona fide spiritual master. With the grace of the spiritual master, he receives Lord Krishna's shelter and his devotional life begins. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So few important points mentioned here, right? One is by the grace of the God and then by grace of spiritual master, yeah, one receives Lord Krishna's shelter and the devotional life begins. Yeah. And then it also says here that knowledge of Vasudeva requires many births to understand. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, after struggling for existence for many births, one may take shelter at the lotus feet of Vasudeva Krishna. And when that happens, one actually becomes wise and surrenders unto him. Yeah. And then that is the only way to stop the repetition of birth and death, right? Is what is being mentioned here. Yeah. पुंसः स्त्रिया मिथुनि भावमेतं तयोर्मिथोरिदय ग्रन्थि माहु अतो गृहक्षेत्र सुताप्त वित्ते जनस्य मोहो अयमहं ममेति. The attraction between male and female is the basic principle of material existence. On the basis of this misconception, which ties together the hearts of the male and female, one becomes attracted to his body, home, property, children, relatives, and wealth. In this way, one increases life's illusions and thinks in terms of I and mine, right? That's how everyone gets entangled. And it says here, Moho ayam aham mameti. Yeah, the concept of I starts. But then it also says here, right? Very interestingly, in the Satya Samhita, it says that sometimes it is found among exalted personalities like Lord Brahma that the wife and children are not a cause of bondage. On the contrary, the wife actually helps further spiritual life and liberation, right? So in the family, the wife and children also can come together and help spiritual life of everyone all together. Nonetheless, most people are bound by the notes of marital relationship, and consequently they forget their relationship with Krishna. But most people are in the material bondage, and so they don't have the understanding of relationship to Lord Krishna. Yeah, it is what is being mentioned. Yeah. Sachin, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. यदा मनो हृदय ग्रंथिरस्य कर्मानुबंधो दृढ़ आष्टथेत तदा जनः वर्तते स्माद मुक्तः परम यात्यातिहाय हेतुम्. When the strong knot in the heart of a person implicated in material life due to the results of past action is slackened, one turns away from his attachment to home, wife, and children. In this way, one gives up the basic principle of illusion, that is I and mine, and becomes liberated. Thus, one goes to the transcendental world. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. How does one become Muktah Param? Yeah, is what is being mentioned. It says that when by associating with sadhus and engaging in devotional service, one is gradually freed from the material conception due to knowledge, practice, and detachment. The knot of attachment in the heart is slackened. Thus, one can get free from conditional life and become eligible to return home back to Godhead. Yeah. Nisha?
अंसे गुरो मयि भक्त्यानुवृत्त्या वितृष्णया द्वन्द्वतितिक्षया च सर्वत्र जन्तोर्व्यसनावगत्या जिज्ञासया तपसेहा निवृत्त्या मत्कर्मभिर्म तत्कथया च नित्यं मद्देव सन्दाग गुणकीर्तनान्मे निर्वैरसाम्योपशमेन पुत्रा जिहासया देह गेहात्म बुद्धे अध्यात्मयोगेन विविक्तसेवया प्राणेन्द्रियात्मा विजयेन सद्र्यक्य सच्छद्वया ब्रह्मचर्येण शश्वद असंप्रमादेन यमेन वाचाम् सर्वत्र मद्भावविचक्षणेन ज्ञानेन विज्ञानविराजितेन योगेन धृत्युद्यम्य सत्त्वयुक्तो लिङ्गव्यप्योहेत् कुशलो हमाख्यम्. O my sons, you should accept a highly elevated Paramahamsas, a spiritually advanced spiritual master. In this way, you should place your faith and love in me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You should detest sense gratification and tolerate the duality of pleasure and pain, which are like the seasonal changes of summer and winter. Try to realize the miserable conditions of living entities who are miserable even in the higher planetary system. Philosophically inquire about the truth, then undergo all kinds of austerities and penances for the sake of devotional services. Give up the endeavor for sense enjoyment and engage in the service of the Lord. Listen to discussion about the Supreme Personality of Godhead and always associate with devotees. Chant about and glorify the Supreme Lord and look upon everyone equally on the spiritual platform. Give up enmity and subdue anger and lamentation. Abandon identifying the self with the body and the home and practice reading the revealed scriptures. Live in a secluded place and practice the process by which you can completely control your life, air, mind, and senses. Have full faith in the revealed scriptures, the Vedic literatures, and always observe celibacy. Perform your prescribed duties and avoid unnecessary talks. Always thinking of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, acquire knowledge from the right source. Thus, practicing Bhakti Yoga, you will patiently and enthusiastically be elevated in knowledge and will be able to give up the false ego. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So who is speaking right now?
Rishabh.
Lord Ṛṣabhadeva, yeah? Lord Ṛṣabhadeva, who is none other than manifestation of Lord Vishnu himself. He is speaking this to all his sons, yeah, but they are all together along with all the Brahmins at Brahma world. That's where he's giving this message, yeah. Tarun?
कर्मस्य हृदय ग्रंथिबद्ध मविद्यया साधितमप्रमत्तः अनेन योगेन यथोपदेशं सम्यग् व्यपोह्य परमेत योगत्. As I have advised you, my dear sons, you should act accordingly. Be very careful. By this means, you will be freed from the ignorance of the desire for futile activity, and the knot of bondage in the heart will be completely severed. For further advancement, you should also give up the means. That is, you should not become attached to the process of liberation itself. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Putransh Shishyantra Nipo Gurva Mallako Kakamo Madunugrahartha Itham Vimunyaran Nushikshadant Gyana Datajya Gyanam Na Yojayet Karmasu Karma Mudhan Kam Yojan Man Puto Jors अर्थ लभेत निपात यन्न दृष्टशम ही करते. If one is serious about going back home, back to Godhead, he must consider the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the summum bonus and chief aim of life. If he is father instructing his sons, a spiritual master instructing his disciples, or a king instructing his citizens, he must instruct them as I have advised. Without being angry, he should continue giving instructions, even if his disciple's son or citizen is sometimes unable to follow his order. Ignorant people who engage in pious and impious activities should be engaged in devotional service by all means. They should always avoid fruitive activity. If one puts into the bondage of karmic activity his disciple's son or citizen who is bereft of transcendental vision, how will one profit? It is like leading a blind man to a dark well and causing him to fall in. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, basically what Lord Ṛṣabhadeva is saying is that anyone who is giving the instruction, yeah, should be able to instruct the way Lord Ṛṣabhadeva is giving the instruction. Otherwise, just giving the material instructions is essentially a blind man leading to a dark well, right? So, a nice purport, let's say, Sachin, can you read?
Personality of Godhead, the summum bonum. Should I read the bottom part?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. It is stated in the Bhagavad Gita 3.26, Na buddhi bhedam janayed achananam karma sanginam joshayet sarva karmani vidvana yuktah samacharan. Let not the wise disturb the minds of the ignorant who are attached to fruitive action. They should be encouraged not to refrain from work, but to work in the spirit of devotion. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So no one is saying refrain from work, but to work in the spirit of devotion. Yeah. लोकः स्वयं श्रेयसि नष्ट दृष्टि यो अर्थान समिहेत निकाम काम है अन्योन्य वेरः सुख लेश हेतो रनंत दुखम च न वेद मूढ़ः. Says due to ignorance, the materialistic person does not know anything about his real self-interest, the auspicious path in life. He is simply bound to a material enjoyment by lusty desires, and all his plans are made for this purpose. For temporary sense gratification, such a person creates a society of envy, and due to this mentality, he plunges into the ocean of suffering. Such a foolish person does not even know about this. Yeah. Ajay?
Sure. Kastam swayam tadbhigyo vipaschid avidyayamantare vartamanam drishtva punastam sagrinah kubuddhim prayoje pathagam yathandam. If someone is ignorant and addicted to path of samsara, how can one who is actually learned, merciful, and advanced in spiritual knowledge engage him in fruitive activities and thus further entangle him in material existence? If a blind man is walking down the wrong path, how can a gentleman allow him to continue on his way to danger? How can he approve this method? No wise or kind man can allow this. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Isha, are you able to read now? Okay, Nisha.
गुरुर्न सस्यास्वजनो न स्यात् पिता न स्वाज्जननी न स्यात् दैवं न तत्स्यान्न पतिश्च सस्यान् मोचयेद्य समुपेतु मृत्युम्. One who cannot deliver his dependents from the path of repeated birth and death should never become a spiritual master, a father, a husband, a mother, or a worshipable demigod. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So basically what Lord Ṛṣabhadeva is saying is that everyone should try to, as a human life, everyone should try to get into devotional service, because that's the only path to get back to Godhead and avoid the repeated birth and death cycles. Yeah, Isha, I think you can read now or not? Sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah.
Idam shariram mama durvi bhavyam sattvam hime hridayam yatra dharmaha priste kartumi yad adharma arad ato hi mam rishabham prahur aryaha. My transcendental body, Satchidanand Vigraha, looks exactly like a human form, but it is not a material human body. It is inconceivable. I am not forced by nature to accept a particular type of body. I take on a body by my own sweet will. My heart is also spiritual, and I always think of the welfare of my devotees. Therefore, within my heart can be found the process of devotional service, which is meant for the devotees. Far from my heart have I abandoned irreligion, adharma, and non-devotional activities. They do not appeal to me. Due to all these transcendental qualities, people generally pray to me as Ṛṣabhadeva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the best of all living entities. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so Lord Ṛṣabhadeva is saying this. And he's acting as a human being because the manifestation he has taken, but then he is advising his sons that he is actually having the transcendental body, Satchidanand Vigraha. Yeah. Sachin?
तस्मान् भवन्तो हृदयेन जाताः सर्वे महीयान् सममुः सनाभम् अक्लिष्टबुद्ध्या भरतं भजध्वं सुष्ठुनं तद्भद्रणं प्रजानाम्. My dear boys, you are all born of my heart, which is the seat of all spiritual qualities. Therefore, you should not be like materialistic and envious men. You should accept your eldest brother Bharata, who is exalted in devotional service. If you engage yourself in Bharata's service, your service to him will include my service, and you will rule the citizens automatically. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so Ṛṣabhadeva is telling all his other sons to engage in Bharat, who is the eldest son of Ṛṣabhadeva. Yeah, and based on his name, the whole Bharat verse is named actually. So he's advising them to be exalted in devotional service and also in the service of Bharat, because Bharat is also engaged in the full devotional service. Yeah. So actually, let's just saying the Supreme Lord was advising Bharat Maharaj to be the chief ruler of the planet. This is the real plan of the Supreme Lord. I'll just do one more shlok. Tarun?
Bhuteshu viredushya udditama ye sarispastesu sabodha nishtaha tado manushya pramathas tatopi gandharvya siddha vibhudanangua ye deva surebhyo maghavat pradhana Dashadayo Brahma Sutastu Tesham Bhava Paratso Tva Virincha Viryaha Samat Paro Ham Dvijya Deva Deva. Hare Krishna. Of the two energies manifest, spirit and dull matter, beings possessing living force, vegetables, grass, trees, and plants, are superior to dull matter, stone, earth, etc. Superior to non-moving plants and vegetables are worms and snakes, which can move. Superior to worms and snakes are animals that have developed intelligence. Superior to animals are human beings, and superior to human beings are ghosts because they have no material bodies. Superior to ghosts are the Gandharvas, and superior to them are the Siddhas. Superior to the Siddhas are the Kinnaras, and superior to them are the Asuras. Superior to the Asuras are the demigods, and of the demigods, Indra, the king of heaven, is supreme. Supreme to Indra are the direct sons of Lord Brahma, sons like King Daksha, and supreme among Brahma's sons is Lord Shiva. Since Lord Shiva is the son of Lord Brahma, Brahma is considered superior. Brahma is also subordinate to me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because I am inclined to the Brahmanas. The Brahmanas are best of all. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So the Lord Ṛṣabhadeva is giving this message, and as we know, like there are 14 planets, right? We have read that, like different planets, you have different types of materialistic bodies, right? So like on the higher planets, you have Siddha Purus, right? Like we see Siddhas and Kinnaras and all that. And then Bhur Swaha, where you have the Devatas. So this is how Lord Ṛṣabhadeva is describing. I think we are going to pause here. We'll continue reading Lord Ṛṣabhadeva's message. Yeah. Today is Wednesday, so we'll take a pause for this week, and then we'll meet again on Monday. And since it's a Nirjala Ekadashi, we will hear a nice bhajan, which is one of my most favorite bhajans. So let's hear that. And
Shri Radhe बरसाने वारी नंद नंदन सुख घन बनवारी श्री राधे बरसाने वारी नंद नंदन सुख घन बनवारी श्री राधे बरसाने वारी नंद नंदन सुख घन बनवारी श्री राधे बरसाने वारी नंद नंदन सुख घन बनवारी प्यारी पर प्रियतम बलिहारी पिय पर प्यारी वारी वारी प्यारी पर प्रियतम बलिहारी पिय पर प्यारी वारी वारी प्यारी बनी गई कुंज बिहारी बनी गए प्यारी नंद नंदन सुख घन बनवारी राधे प्यारी ते प्यारे बनवारी बनवारी ते प्यारी प्यारी मदन मिलोहन रास बिहारी मदन रसवारी नथवारी मदन मिलोहन रास बिहारी ओ श्री राधे बरसाने वारी नंद नंदन सुख घन बनवारी यद्यपि है कृपालु बनवारी पर नहले पे दहला प्यारी यद्यपि है कृपालु बनवारी पर नहले पे सदा प्यारी।
राधे बरसाने वारी नंद नंदन सुख घन बनवारी। राधे बरसाने वारी नंद नंदन सुख घन बनवारी। श्री राधे बरसाने वारी नंद नंदन सुख घन बनवारी। श्री राधे बरसाने वारी नंद नंदन सुख घन बनवारी। श्री राधे बरसाने वारी नंद नंदन सुख घन बनवारी। श्री राधे बरसाने वारी नंद नंदन सुख घन बनवारी। श्री राधे राधे बरसाने वारी नंद नंदन सुख घन बनवारी। श्री राधे बरसाने वारी नंद नंदन सुख घन बनवारी। श्री राधे बरसाने वारी नंद नंदन सुख घन बनवारी। श्री राधे बरसाने वारी नंद नंदन सुख घन बनवारी। लाडली लाल की
Right, so nice, beautiful bhajan by Kripaluji Maharaj and team. Yeah, it's about between Radha and Krishna. Who is the most Dayalu and Kripalu? So, and so now we'll have a long weekend. We'll see you again on Monday, 10 p.m. EST. We'll continue reading about Lord Ṛṣabhadeva's teachings. Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.